today we're going to go over the number one issue that I find with any self-contained. The number one issue that you always start with is your condenser. Is your condenser clogged? And is that why your system isn't running? So I would say, yeah, more than likely this is clogged. This isn't going to be working great. Now, how can you verify that that is really the reason why it's not going? Well, on a unit like this, you see, I'm going to go to the back, okay? Unit like this, it'll actually have this high pressure control right there, your pressure control, your dual pressure control, that's what that's called, okay? And so if you're on your dual pressure control, if you feel around, you feel everything that looks like a button right there, that's a button for high pressure, right? That is tripped currently. So watch, I'm gonna hit it, the pressure's on. So that means that this tripped on high head pressure. So what does that mean? So that means that the condenser is trying to condense out, is trying to remove the heat from the system, right? And it can't remove it fast enough because it's all plugged up, right? So what happens is the head pressure builds and builds and builds and builds, and then that safety will go off on high head pressure. Now, on some systems, okay, you're gonna actually see on your controller over here, it's actually gonna say high head pressure on that controller, and or you know, it'll have one of those controls back here. Those ones, a lot of the time it's actually a electronic restart, so you have to shut down, power off, and power on the unit in order to reset that. But with these ones, they actually have a real mechanical dual pressure control safety. So now we're gonna clean that condenser. So we're gonna get a condenser brush. I'm gonna go over here, and you're just gonna clean your condenser just like this. Here's a mistake a lot of people make. Clean it off with the condenser brush and they go, we're good to go. No, you're not. Okay, so this did not have a filter in front of it. Okay, a lot of the times you'll see these blue mesh filters. You can buy them at United Refrigeration or FW Web or something. Okay, what they do is a lot of guys, they'll actually remove them. Companies even tell guys to just remove them because these plug up, it'll make them plug up a couple times a year, and they'll generate so many service calls a lot of companies can't keep up, so they say to remove them. The trade-off is, yeah, you might get a year or two, or maybe even 1 year out of a unit, but now there's going to be dust all stuck in there, and so this condensing coil is now significantly less efficient than it was before. So in order to properly clean it, we got to get a nitrogen tank with our drain dog. So this was a nitrogen tank I got. This is a drain dog. It's $20 with the regulator and everything. I'm gonna turn it up. I'll put it around 100 psi. You don't want to make it too much, okay? Because if you do it like 200-300 psi, you're gonna bend the fins, and you don't want to bend the fins. So you just take it and you spray it out. Make sure that's nice and clean. Now you gotta be very careful and very aware of your surroundings, because I know a guy that did it near a fire alarm, and the fire department got called, cleared a whole city block. It was a whole big deal. Okay, so just very gentle. Maybe even give it a little bit of time to air out. Okay. I always start on a lower pressure. I'm gonna increase the pressure a little bit. I go around back. I'll even clean out back and everything. The high pressure safety on the dual pressure control wasn't enough verification. I would say all this dust in the air is more than enough verification that it was in fact the condenser that was plugged that caused the high head pressure that tripped the safety. Also, a point to mention, a lot of times what happens with some of these cases is it's more happens with like a soda case or something like that, is that the customer will actually just keep turning it up and 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 up in you know how cold it is. They'll turn it to 9 or whatever, as cold as it can go, and then they'll call you and they'll say, it's just lost its juice. A lot of the times the reason why it lost its juice is because even if there's filters in front of that, right, they've changed it again and again and again and again and again, 100,000, 100 filters, okay, over the course of 10 years or something like that. Yeah, maybe less than that, maybe like 20 filters. Okay, and all that dirt, it's not 100% like there. It will slip through and it will get caught in the condensing coil, and that will limit the capacity of your equipment to reject the heat from the area in which it's cooling. So if you have a situation in which these self-contains are, they're not running, it's like they lost their juice, they lost their mojo, a lot of the times cleaning it out with nitrogen helps solve that issue. I'll also do my best to clean out the unit the best that I can, because I know a lot of dust will get stuck in there and I want it as clean as I can before I leave. Mention, don't turn it up too high and don't put it too close, because you don't want to bend those fins and create a restriction that would raise the head pressure more, so you don't want to do damage. So make sure to hold it back pretty far. Don't do that. Now, how do you know when it's clean enough? When you spray it on it and there's not an overwhelming amount of dust that comes out. Okay, and you as your technician go, you know what, that looks way better than when I first started, and you say, okay, you use your best judgment. Also clean off your debris. Make sure this is clean too. So you can see this guy's running good to go. Just turn it back on, good to go, everything's all right. So whether or not you replace that filter, I think it's just up to your company and what your company policy is, whether or not you guys do it, whether or not your customer wants you to. It's up to them. You know, they want you to replace the filter, replace the filter. You know, I could see an argument from a longevity standpoint that having all that dust build up in there, it's going to reduce the life of the equipment, because it's going to always work a little bit less efficiently as long as that's there. So, but at the same time, it will go off more often on high head pressure. I don't know. You know, maybe comment below what you think on it. But anyway, that's the most common issue with the self-contained unit in commercial refrigeration, and that's how you properly clean a condenser. That's how you do it. And I'm going to sweep this up and button this guy back up, and I'll be good to go. So yeah, that's how you do it. Please like, subscribe, and all that, and let me know what you think in the comments below. Thanks.